What's going on YouTube? What's going down H-Town? I'm this in this video, I welcome back my boy Ray Ray in my last video, you know what I'm saying, and I gave a little brief history on, the Texans and what they for some reason like to do with, having one superstar wide receiver, you know what I'm saying, and all that other bullshit. You know, in this video I want to talk about why, and my boy Ray Ray he hit on this too. Rick Smith and the Texans look clueless, and reason why I say that, there are moves that can easily be made to upgrade and fix this team. Like, I mean, it's so fucking easy. It's like putting pen to paper. All you have to do is have the thought process and the effort to be willing to do so. Like I said, matter of fact, I'm offensively, I'm gonna go position by position, and I'll name a player outside of quarterback that could have helped this team out had Houston went and got them. Well, when I say, my bad, it's quarterback and fullback, because Jay Prosh got that on lock, and he does a good job. You know what I'm saying? Now, wide receiver, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Martavis Bryant isn't really, he wasn't thrilled about, Big Ben basically, putting him on the chop block, you know what I'm saying, and exposing him nationally, you know what I'm saying, talking about him and whatnot. So yeah, he's gonna act like a pro, and I like that about him. He's a professional. He goes out there. He doesn't like the situation that he's in, but he's still going out there doing his job and performing at a high level. That's what gets you noticed, and that's what gets you paid, regardless of whether you have or have had, off the field issues. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, and this is the more reason why I feel Houston should bust this trade for him. When you think about the Texans motto and how they say they don't like having players, they're this no nonsense team, yet we've allowed Brian Cushion to not have only one but two PED suspensions. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but with Martavis Bryant and his what's the names that got him sat out for the year, that happened once, and I think he had an off the field issue once. Now, off the field incident and a PED violation. Okay. So one could say that Martavis Bryant and Brian Cushion are just about even. Now, from an off the field issue standpoint. Now let's take the talent into consideration. What do we have at linebacker? Let's see. We have Bernard McKinney, not Jalen. I was about to say Jalen Strong. Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless, Zach Cunningham. Now, Zach Cunningham and McKinney are the two that needs to be highlighted in this part of the discussion, because both guys have already proven that, hey, if you guys were to ship off Brian Cushion, we're going to be all right. Now, I get it. They wanted to keep him around for depth and leadership and being able to teach and all that shit. But last time I checked, Bernard McKinney had a Pro Bowl-like year, having 133 plus tackles last year, something like that. But he wasn't elected to the Pro Bowl or anything like that. I feel like he got snubbed. When you have a player that can come out and produce like that, I would challenge him to keep producing. And I believe McKinney is one of those players that could respond to that challenge. So now you have him and Zach Cunningham. What is the purpose of keeping Cush around? He's eating up at least 9 to 8 mil on the cap. Now from a number standpoint, it helps you a lot more than it hurts you to trade for Martavis Bryant, because last time I checked, he's still on a rookie contract. And I've been saying that, and people just don't seem to understand it. They don't get it. Even when I gave my Twitter question to John Harris, you know, oh, it it bothered me that they edited that part out of the Texans talking all that shit. But I really feel like, and a lot of Texans fans really feel like that, you know, Cushion is he's not what he used to be. So fuck it, trade him. Get rid of that huge cap and get you a younger, more productive player on the other side of the ball. That's how you become successful in not only management, but it trickulates down. When you make a good business move like that from the front office, guess what? Now you can start having more on the field production, and that's all football is. It's more than just X's and O's. Of course, yes, you could have the greatest system in the world, but in Houston's case, having a New England system doesn't mean shit if you don't have, for one, the quarterback to do the things that you want him to do, which we know we have now in Watson. Now, the second part, what separates our system from New England's, Brady knows the entire playbook, ins and outs of the plays, where his reads are, where he needs to go with the ball, and where he can go with the ball to be successful. Watson is a rookie. He doesn't. Now, look at what Seattle did, and it turned out to be something that was very successful for them. They just went out and got pure athletes. Pure athletes. Look at Luke Wilson, a freakish athlete at the tight end position, although he's undervalued, and to me he's a little underrated, and I think he kind of gets lost because of the fact that Russ's, for one, beast mode was there, so they weren't really just doing a lot of throwing the ball. But once he left, they tried to run the two tight end set with Jimmy Graham and Luke, but like I said, just a hyper athlete at a certain position. Now, of course, they had their receiving weapons and Curse and company, but those guys weren't considered hyper athletes at their positions. Marshawn Lynch revamped his career, although I will say Seattle and Pete Carroll helped him a lot by going out and just saying, you know what, Dallas wasn't, they're on to something. Let's go out and get road graders. They don't have to necessarily be the best at pass protection, but we know when it comes down to running the ball, we know that we can move them at least 2 or 3 yards backwards before our running back has even touched. That's how beast mode was born. It like I said, it's not something that you gotta go on this mystic quest and find a mystic lamp and rub a genie and have him tell you. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? With Houston right about now, to make it work offensively, go out and get the talent necessary. Like I said, at the tight end position, Ryan Griffin that was a waste of money. I'm just gonna call it for what it is. That was a waste of $9 million. You could have got I would have been happy with them giving that to Ladarius Green. Just being straight up. Why? Similar size. They're both 6'6". The only difference is Ladarius has more athleticism, and he can get to certain spots on the field a lot faster than Ryan Griffin can, whereas Ryan Griffin has to rely on the defense to actually be biting on a run play, in order for him to get some kind of separation. It's not going to cut it in the National Football League. It's just not. The Rick Smith and I keep saying it with him because he needs to upgrade with the times and say, you know what, this old school fashion, trying to get guys like Jason Witten and all that shit just not gonna cut it. You know, now had they signed Gary Barnidge, the topic kind of is jaded a little bit because in my eyes, that's what Gary Barnidge is a taller Jason Witten. He's still a little more athletic than he is, given the fact that he's 31, but he would have easily shown the Texans that you guys wasted your money. That's probably what led to him not getting signed. That's probably what's leading to a lot of these guys, like Ladarius Green or Bucky Hodges. That's what's keeping these guys from even getting looked at. The fact that the Texans have already invested money into these guys, so they're probably looking at it like, well, we don't want to go and get these younger guys, or go get another player with equal or even better talent. That's probably gonna show these guys up. That's just my opinion on it. From the safety, from our secondary and whatnot, I don't know how. I'm glad somebody in the management is listening to me because, like I said, they've made the past few years they've made picks that I really talked about, like guys like Bernard McKinney, Zach Cunningham, guys like that. They DJ Reader, Carlos Watkins. They listened to me and got those guys in the later rounds. But I said I'm really hoping that they at least experiment and look at Bucky Hodges because he's a young guy a rookie, I might add, that could easily get signed to the practice squad and elevated to the active roster, and you can have him for cheap. You know what I'm saying? You can get this dude for cheap. Like I said, he's a rookie, late round pick. So you're not having to, pay this dude just like top dollar money. You basically getting the athlete of a second or third round tight end for basically 7th round value. But like I said, I'm not in the front office, you know what I'm saying? But let me know what you guys think on my overall thoughts on this video as well as my last one. And as always, like, sub, and peace. And as for my boy Ray Ray, once again, welcome back.